Welcome Taurus, I'm the Urban Seer and I'm so glad to have you here. In today's December tarot reading, we're going to explore the overall energies at the start of the month for you, followed by insights into your work, finances, love life, looking at challenges and blessings throughout the month, and we'll also take a peek at where you find yourself as the month wraps up. If you enjoy this reading, I go live 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesdays and Fridays. So be sure to subscribe and join our tarot community there. If you'd like a personal, private reading, click the link to my Shopify store in the description below. But let's dive in, Taurus, to your December reading. First of all, I just want to point out, so we've got 3 major arcanas here, okay, which tells me that there are powerful energies in December for you, dotted throughout, okay, so the opportunity for transformation and big changes here. But let's start off with the where you find yourself at the start of the month and overall energies, and we come in with this 9 of Voices, which can be a tricky energy for you, Taurus. It's when one feels in their head and quite anxious, worried, fearful about a situation or just about life in general. The energy kind of can get stuck in our head and in our thinking, and we become ungrounded, and these fears and worries get a grip of us and can have a tendency to spiral, keeping us up at night. We see issues here with it could be affecting your sleep and just generally feeling stressed, and worried. Now, the blessing of this card with the 9 of Voices is actually a card of comfort to say that this is these fears and worries are unfounded. So you may have gone to that worst case scenario, and it's always a reminder that when we find ourselves in this place of fear and anxiety, it's not a great place to make decisions from, okay? Our thinking and our point of view is warped in a way because we're coming from a place of fear, from a place of lack, from a place of not trusting ourselves, not trusting spirit, all of the above, and we can often make missteps even, or just become very overwhelmed, and then we lose the joy in the day-to-day of life. So do what you can to try to regain perspective. I would advise really how to do this is in grounding yourself. So whatever ways in which you can do that, if that's through meditation, if that's through exercise, taking a long walk, connecting with loved ones who you feel you can trust these thoughts and things with, talk it out if that's possible. Whatever is your coping mechanism, but the main goal being to stay grounded. Stop taking things slower. We can often begin to move too fast when we're in this space as well. We have a lot of action, but that we're not really getting much done. We're just spinning in circles at this point. So slow down, ground yourself, and try to regain that inner strength and a better perspective. Because we move on to work and career, and we have actually this beautiful energy of 4 of Inspiration, which is about success. It's about a higher level of commitment. I feel like things will settle in this area for you more, Taurus, in December. The 4 is a grounded energy, which is great to see. So if this anxiety has been around work, I see things becoming more stable. It's certainly in the area of practicality, okay? It's about the material world displacement. When we see work, it's the structure of our lives, where we have to show up for every day. So if you're a mother, father, or if it is career, so take what resonates to your situation. But the main sense that I get from this card is actually like a sense of calm and some energy settling. So feeling more like there's a sense of routine that you can keep on top of. So this is great to counteract this worrying energy if you've had a lot of discord in Novembers or the months leading up to this, prior to that. This feels like things beginning to settle down, a routine beginning to happen, and just being able to consistently show up without many bumps in the road this December. Maybe the break, with if some of you are able to have that in the festive period, would also be beneficial. Look at all these lovely beautiful pinks, warm oranges, yellows that we see. It has a very healing energy to it, this card, for you Taurus, that I'm seeing today for December. So we'll move on to finances here, and we do have a Tower moment, which is about sudden change, being rerouted on a different path. Now, the Tower moment could already have happened for you. That's the sense that I get. And what you're dealing with is still the repercussions of this Tower moment, which I think has brought you to this place of anxiety. Now, ultimately, with the Tower, this is about old energies being cleared out, but in a quite a heavy, intense way, in a challenging way. There's no sugarcoating in a way this card, that when we see the Tower, it's like being rocked, so it can cause anxieties, worries, fears. But ultimately, the Tower energy is that kind of energy that you look back on and you can see, even though that happened in a very intense way, it was actually the best for me. It was the right thing to happen at that time. I feel like you're still dealing with the repercussions of this. We have got, just with this being in the work placement, work and money, again, I feel like this for inspiration. Can you see how these rocks are crumbling, but this rock here, that feels like an echo in that you find some stability on a new foundation, so this foundation crumbled, but here we have the new foundation, the new building block. Just gonna ask for one more with this financial Tower moment. You may already obviously be very clearly know and understand how you're feeling the effects of this Tower moment still, and whatever that means to you, if it was, job loss in some kind, sudden financial losses in places that you hadn't expected. But I do feel like this isn't a new Tower moment, it's already happened, and these repercussions are still being felt. So then we have that 5 of emotions, which is the loss, the disappointment, the pain of that situation. Obviously take the time to heal when we see the 5 of emotions, but it's also about looking at what remains. So in the traditional deck, we see there is 5 cups, 3 are upturned, which is represents the loss, the disappointment, the spilt milk, I always think of. But there are 2 cups that still remain. So this is the new chapter to focus on. There is still opportunity, there is still hope, and that's the reroute. This is the new foundation. So the message being with the 5 of emotions, not to stay too long and ruminate in the loss and disappointment of this Tower moment. There is another chapter that has already started, I feel like, with this for inspiration, and it's what you need to focus on when these fears and worries sneak back in. So let's have a look at love now, and we have another major arcana, the Magician. This is a beautiful energy. The Magician is about really holding on to that ideal vision. It's very connected to manifestation, this card. The Magician is the epitome of someone who is an excellent manifester to me. They have all the tools laid out in front of them. They have all the ability and the skills to make this happen, bring into reality, bring into the 3D what it is that you want. So if you're in a relationship and you want to, how do you see that future? Focus on that vision, work on your self-belief. It's all about resisting letting self-doubt sneak in. It's about holding a very strong viewpoint and just being relentless about that. If you're single, this is about drawing in the ideal relationship. Whatever, that no contact, if you want resolution, if you want connection, hold that vision. What does that look like? What does that feel like? Sit in that feeling of what it would be like to have that ideal relationship. Yeah, I'm going to pull 2 love oracle cards. Spirit, please bring through some additional messages for Taurus for love, please. So messages for someone who is already in a connection, maybe in separation. I can't stop thinking about you. This is coming from your person. And we'll have one more. My life is not as together as it seems. So they may be putting on a front that they're all good, they're all okay. But if you actually scratch the surface, things are not as together as it seems. And they maybe are concerned about this, you finding this out, I imagine, okay? So they're trying to hide that in some way as well. Okay, so let's move on now to, so we have what challenges would be coming up for you in December. And we have another major arcana, the moon this time, and this is about our insecurities, echoing this kind of 9 of voices, about fears and worries. The moon is about a situation that we don't have the full picture on, okay? It's like a jigsaw with missing pieces. Or we're being kept in the dark about something, or it's a situation that, you know, you don't really know how it's going to unfold, and it's causing you stress and worry. And really at this point, it's about not trying to force that information to come sooner than when it's ready. It's about accepting the unknown, to try to get familiar and be okay with the unknown, Taurus, which as a Taurus who is very practical, and Taurians as a rule don't deal that easy with uncertainty without a plan. But the moon energy asks us to, lean into and get comfortable with the unknown as much as possible. In time, it will come. This big moon will illuminate the path, but you need to just tap into your intuition. Again, about grounding yourself, sinking more into the body, shifting the energy that's got stuck in our head, and bringing it down and processing it into our body, okay? And like I say, get comfortable with the unknown as best you can, and trust, Taurus, that this will be illuminated. It will become clear, this path. But it'll happen in its own time. Tap into your intuition. Your intuitive voices are always trying to tell you something. So try to quiet the mind so that you can hear it. And the blessings that we have is the beautiful 6 of emotions. For some of you, this can be reconnecting with a past loved one. It can be so this can be romantic of nature, or it can be, for some of you, it's about connecting with someone who you can be a more softer side of yourself, a tender side. If you see this person who is reconnecting to their inner child, but through another, I see with this. So looking back to the past, maybe reminiscing with someone of good times. And This bringing you a sense of joy though to the present day. So this is blessings throughout December. So this could be over the holiday period, if maybe you get to connect with family that you might not already see. It could be if some of you have a family to go back to who you are close, and it's almost like you get to regress to be looked after again and to be that child again and taken care of. Or it can be about a reconciliation in love again, and someone that you have history with, and reminiscing about the past and reconnecting about the past, but in the now, if that makes sense. So then we move on to where you find yourself at the end of the month, and this is Two of Inspiration, or in the traditional deck it's Two of Wands, so element of fire. And I feel like that you end on some kind of breakthrough, Taurus. So if we see this white expanse here, this always represents to me like some kind of wall, some block that you felt that you haven't been able to have a breakthrough with. It's something to do with the future as well, being able to plan for the future and look ahead. And it's either about being able to make progress in a certain area that you've just been running up against and just hitting a wall, feeling uninspired about the future maybe even, and not being able to get hyped up and inspired or being able to plan ahead. You've just been living day to day, and this is having some kind of breakthrough. And we can see this person here who is now looking to the future because something has caught your attention, has inspired you. It's like you begin to form that plan, Taurus, that you so love a plan and need a plan and structure. So maybe this moon, by the end of the month, it's like the illumination does begin to happen, and you begin to be able to look to the future again and get beyond just the day to day. So whatever that is that you've been holding back, and it's like you one step forward, two steps back, however much effort that you're putting in, it's just you keep pushing back, and it gets incredibly draining, yeah. And this is the breakthrough that you've hoped for, that you've wanted. I want to bring in at this point the Oracle card. This is the Urban Crow Oracle deck, and this is observation. It ties in very much to you see how this person is now looking ahead. And this is, I believe, you beginning to continue that kind of energy through observation, through planning, through assessing, beginning to build this plan of where opportunities lie, where your next steps lie. I'm drawn to this spider web. It means something. Obviously this crow is looking at this spider, I think, for a meal. But to me, this spider web talks about, which in itself spells opportunity, but this web is about also networking to me, but connecting those dots also for some of you. And I feel like you really thrive when, we all do, yeah, have just living day to day gets one's emotions very down and is very draining. We have to have that hook to the future of where we're going. That's what, keeps driving us on, I believe, for many of us. So continue to observe, but I feel like again that you feel inspired and more back to your old self in a way, being able to plan, being able to strategize, and feeling kind of excited and inspired by that once again. Final messages. We end with Knight of Voices, which I believe is information and news coming through. Positive news. Look at this bright yellow sun. These angelic kind of cloud scene here, but it's very bright, this card, and this horse, this kind of Pegasus image, is coming swooping in with news, with information. So you may have been waiting for this, which in turn will help you all add in and feed into being able to plan for the future. But so you could have been waiting for this news. It could be a surprise, but it will be positive when it comes through, and it will give you clarity. Voices is all about communication, clarity, information, and what it will allow you to do again is get clear about where to go next and what to do and where you can move forward to after a period of, you know, really has been quite uncertain here. There's a lot of energies that have been ungrounded, floating around, not being able to get a grip of things, which flies in the face of Taurus's natural abilities and how they thrive. So something has been draining you and pulling you back, and this is some breakthroughs that I do see by the end of December, and a shift in that. And ending on a really positive note there. So Taurus, I hope this reading resonated for you. If it did, please do give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. If you did enjoy this reading, I do go live Monday, Wednesdays and Fridays. If you'd like to join the community there, like I mentioned earlier, or if you'd like a private reading, the link is in my bio. But wishing you all the best for December, Taurus. Love and light.